Hello everyone and welcome to the video. This is the second part of what I said in my previous video. If you didn't see where I was talking about Coryxkenshin, and I talked about it from a base perspective of what I saw within that video and within those messages that were sent. Those were messages sent by him, so talking about it, it made him look pretty fucking disgusting. Now, I haven't heard anything from Coryxkenshin. Obviously, I'm not talking about in the sense of like him speaking to me personally, what the fuck, but I haven't heard him say like an apology, nothing. Obviously, this just happened maybe like 4 hours ago, guys. That's when it actually like blew up. But here I am with all her messages. She has a lot of them. Like one of them I know has 33 different parts. We will see how those look specifically, but as of now, I'm going to be going through every single part, seeing everything she says. And when Corey talks about it, or if he ever talks about it, I'll make another video about that, hearing what he has to say. Because, like I said, I'm not going to fully be taking a side. I'm looking at them from the perspective of what was stated. And what was stated in that first one made him look disgusting. Because those are from his perspective. Now, if she has evidence or anything in these, I'm not a firm believer in believe the person who accuses. Because there's that take on I'd rather believe a liar than someone who did something really bad. I'm not going to specify because it goes in a lot of situations. I don't believe that. I think you should look at both sides of the evidence and then make a observation from that. So I'm going to look at this. If I believe what it is, then I'll talk about that. If I don't, then we'll talk about that too. As you can see right up there, it's subs till I dye my hair. If I hit 1,000 before the end of the year, I'll dye my hair whatever color. I'm hiding it right now because I just cut it. But yeah, so let's stick with me for now. And hopefully, yeah, I hit that 1,000. I'm not going to lie. I'd appreciate it. Okay. Dear Coryxkenshin is how this starts. Let me mute this audio because I don't want to hear music. Dear Coryxkenshin, please don't auto scroll. Okay, auto scroll. I guess it's gonna be a little play button. My fault. I didn't want to do this, but I don't owe you my silence anymore. There's no clean way to start. Just the familiar weight in my chest while the world kept applauding someone who never showed up for me. I was never part of your world publicly. You made sure I stayed close just far enough to be invisible. Your followers eat up the whole man of faith image you push, but faith without basic decency isn't faith, it's branding. I believe this is more on the fact that he's a super, he pushes his faith in Christianity a lot, and that's like one of his main things. You know, he doesn't curse a lot. That's why if you saw the previous one, she was talking about the fact that he doesn't curse. I mean, that was surprising to her, even someone who had a close relationship with him. But yeah, let's get further into this. You talk about devotion, but act like hurting people in private doesn't count. That's not devotion, that's hypocrisy. You fooled a lot of people, but not me. When I met you, I was at one of the lowest points of my life. I was still healing, still trying to remember how to love myself after going so long without it. I had all this love and nowhere to put it, and for a moment, your attention made me feel like maybe I wasn't invisible anymore. Even writing this now has me crying so hard I could barely breathe. The pain still lives in my body. Like it just happened yesterday. I don't know what she's specifying happened yet. It sounds crazy. I'm not writing this because I still care. I'm writing this because I've carried too much in silence. Nothing. Okay. You ghosted me not because you were confused, but to teach me a lesson. You made me feel like I had to shrink just to earn a reply. Every move was calculated, even if I couldn't see it back then. Anytime I tried to speak up, you twisted it into something wrong with me. While I sat replaying every word, breaking myself apart, just trying to make sense of it, you were out there. They were out there calling you a positive role model. They'll never know how many nights I cried into my pillow trying to convince myself it wasn't that bad, just so I wouldn't have to admit how deeply it broke me. I don't think this might go into sexual assault or something. You never showed up when it mattered. You only came around when it was convenient, when you wanted something, when it was easy. But when I needed care, support, the bare fucking minimum, you vanished. That was your punishment. Silence, distance, disappearing like affection was something I had to earn. I'm loving you too quietly, too loudly. Meant I needed to be put in my place. You treated my body, my heart, my time like they were things you could shelve and retrieve whenever it suited you. Like I only existed when you needed to feel wanted. You made sure your absence cut deeper than your presence ever comforted. And the worst part, that kind of damage takes effort, so congratulations. And then came the subtle jabs. You once asked if I wanted to know how much you made. I said no because I didn't care. I never depended on anyone. I've worked hard my whole life and made my own money. But still you made me feel small for the job I had, like I was a disappointment just for not living up to your standards. I never asked for your money, your platform, your help, any of it. I didn't want what you had, like I just wanted to be treated like I mattered, like a human fucking being, but even that felt like too much for you. Probably bothered you that I wasn't impressed that I didn't melt for your self-image, your ego, your self-importance, that I saw right through you and still gave you the chance to be real. But that version of you, the one who actually cared, he never fucking existed. And then came your one grand gesture: flowers, candy, a teddy bear, and a card. The first thing you ever bothered to give me, the last thing that felt remotely real. The card said, Nami, the way I feel about you is real. You are so wonderful, gentle, and kind, not to mention sexy. Ahem. I miss you, and I hope this puts a big old smile on that pretty face. It felt like maybe finally something was different for a split second, and I let it crack my armor. I let myself believe you. When you called that night and poured out a heart to heart, I made a lot of mistakes, but you were never one of them. I fucking cried because even after everything, I still wanted to believe you were capable of being a good human. And then the next day, someone told me they saw you in California with another girl. I already knew where you were going. You told me that part. You never said who you were going with, so I assumed it was your family. That's how it always was with you. I never really knew what you were doing, just whatever pieces you decided to share. And all I did was ask calmly, the way anyone seeing someone would. I'm not the type to pry or get jealous over nothing, but when the details don't add up, I pay attention. But you snapped at me. You said it was your sister, got defensive. I wasn't accusing you of shit, I just wanted the truth. But your action said everything, even if it really was your sister. I speak nothing, but you know how I feel about that. That doesn't sound right to me. Now it sounds, in comparison to what I said originally and the other thing, that sounds kind of like a bit of just a mad ex to me. I understand still Corey did something bad in the fact of using his body, which is still very weird. I mean what I said in the first video. That's really fucking weird. You seem like a bad person for that. And that I still stand on that. Using someone for their body and only coming around for that is a bad thing. But now it kind of seems like you're kind of just a mad ex, but we'll continue. The guilt always slipped out before you could cover it. You always gave yourself away, and then you ghosted again. You know what that kind of pattern does to someone? It rewires your nervous system. It teaches you not to trust softness, not to believe kindness. It makes you think that if somebody feels good, it's probably set up. That was not the real you, not the sweet, funny persona you flashed on camera, just a selfish, image-obsessed coward who cared more about looking good than being good. You couldn't even stay in the same room. And your own consequences, because accountability doesn't get likes, right? I spent so long asking what was wrong with me. No, not to disrespect, but the way he has a cultish fan base, if he were to like start being weird about it, people would still be with him. I spent so long asking what was wrong with me, wondered how I could show up with my whole heart and still not be enough, trying to be softer, quieter, easier to love, but the truth is I was never asking for too much. I just kept pouring into someone who never planned to give anything back. That sounds tough. I'm not gonna lie, that's a tough line. You knew how badly I wanted to be loved, so you breadcrumbed just enough affection, keep me hoping, then called me crazy for wanting more. I still gave you the benefit of the doubt every time I let your excuses rewrite the truth, just so it would hurt a little less. I held your chaos like it was love, because that's all you ever offered. I kept handing you chances, kept trying to make sense of the hurt, kept believing maybe there was something good in you worth holding time. That part's on me, but everything after that, that's all you. This is just the beginning. Part 2 comes later tonight, and it only gets heavier. This does look a little bit like view bait to me. Okay, I'll say so far it feels like view bait and a bit of hating, because you really didn't say too much actual things besides the piece about the girlfriend or the sister part or whatever. Let's go further in. Bacon avocado. What is this?
I dated Coryxkenshin, and he hurt me really bad, and I'm not the only one.
Bacon avocado trend's kind of crazy. Okay, let's get to part 2. What is it? How many views did each of these have? 600k, 700k? Yeah. Okay, where it gets worse. Then come the Xbox messages. It wasn't even what you said, it was how casually you said it. Like nothing you'd done had ever left a scar, like you hadn't already shouted at me once and just gotten bored. Okay. If you guys want to read more into this and whatnot, this is what I said in my first video. You should go check that out. Also a little interval period currently, where I will say that you should go check out the other video to hear what I said. But thanks for reading. This means I'm not gonna lie, I'm taking comments with a grain of salt because you can see down here. Oh, you can't see down here actually. Um, Comments aren't available because you're not mutual friends. So all messages in comments are only by her mutual friends. I will not say anything. Like, it was funny, like, it was cute as the pain you caused. First time wasn't real, the confusion, the trauma, the aftermath. Joke, now you were just bored again. My chest locked up. I wasn't even surprised. It's furious you had the audacity to crawl back like you were welcome. Like I'd let you ruin me again for your own entertainment. You didn't come back to make things right. You came back because fucking with me made you feel powerful. Because you knew I used to let you in. Uh, because you counted on the damage you did to keep me soft. Because you thought I'd be too broken to bite back. Already seen this. Oh wait, no, I have seen that. Did you hear yourself? You knew I'd survived SA. You knew how hard it was to feel safe in my body. And use it as leverage just to remind me how far you'd gotten. Threw it in my face like I should have been flattered. You didn't want me. You wanted access. The version of me who froze when things felt wrong. Kept forgiving you because I thought love was supposed to hurt. When I pushed back and got defenses, I don't know why I lumped you into that category. Fuck you. You put yourself there. Okay. So I guess I guess because he was using her body. Cross lines you had no right to. You knew exactly. Then you tried to backpedal, like everything could be undone if you called it a mistake, but it wasn't a mistake. It was you being you. Backpedal. Oh, okay. So he's talking about you were never used for sex. I need to make sure you understand that. I loved you, like I said. Didn't have my shit together. You loved me. How is that possible? That's a bit of a different message I didn't see. Okay. And you had the nerve to say, I loved you back then. I just didn't have my shit together. Really, you had the money, the platform, the fans, the house, the car, everything. You had every tool to be a decent being. You still choose to be careless with someone you claim to have loved. This kind of means nothing, saying you had the money, the platform, the fans, the house, the car. That means nothing. You said earlier you didn't care for his money or anything. You didn't care about it. So it's weird to bring that up. I didn't have my shit together either, but I still showed up with heart, with honesty, and with care. I never used my chaos as an excuse to mind fuck someone else. But I guess empathy doesn't hit the same when the mirror's not pointed at you. Because if someone can say I loved you after they've already destroyed you, what the fuck does love even mean? As if anyone is, and if anyone else is reading this, I want you to really ask yourself something. How would you feel? Would you keep making excuses for him? Would you still tell yourself it wasn't that bad? Because I mean, I can't speak for your situation. I don't really know what happened. It sounds like everything is just leading to he used me for my body, and he said in the messages, at least in the what the most recent one we saw with him talking, I didn't use you for sex. I loved you. So it seems like if we just go through the nitty gritty, it's just you saying that he used him for sex and him saying, I mean, he never denied it, which at least whatever. Makes it worse is how many people still praise you, how many don't know who you really are, how many built their platforms just by orbiting yours. That's weird. Just build okay. And while all of this is happening, something else started happening to me. What would you do if the nurse called your name the moment you sat down? The world stopped making sense. TNBC, stage 3A aggressive. I don't know what that means. Bone cancer? Breast cancer? Breast cancer? You're staring at the doctor's mouth, but the sound's already gone. No, okay. Right? Stage? Aggressive type of invasive breast cancer. Okay. What make you do? Okay, that is kind of crazy. You're staring at the doctor's mouth, but the sound's already gone. No tears, just shock. That sounds like exactly what happened in Breaking Bad. No tears, just shock. Like your soul stepped out of your body and left you alone to hold the news. Heart slumping against your ribs. Tunnel vision. Thoughts collapsing under words like chemo, mascatomy, radiation. I guess that scene was realistic because this sounds exactly like that scene. And outside the pandemic makes sure no one's there to catch you. You're isolated, terrified, too stunned to tell more than a handful of people because you barely believe it yourself. You walk out knowing your life is shattered, just yet somehow you still have to keep walking. I reached out to people not for comfort but for closure. Because when you survive trauma like mine, you're forced to face the possibility that your story could end early. You do what feels right for your soul, whether anyone else understands or not. So I reached out to you. I didn't reach out because I was weak. I did it because if my time was up, I wasn't taking your unfinished damage with me. Okay, so she wants closure. And what did you say? That was the most passive aggressive. That was the most passive-aggressive cancer reveal ever law. Read that again. Yes, I will. The most passive-aggressive cancer reveal ever law. That is very non-empathetic. I will say that's pretty fucked up. I'm not laughing. I'm not smiling because it's funny. It's just what a weird thing to say. That wasn't just cold, it was fucking cruel. Harder than the diagnostic itself. If that kind of cruelty comes easily, were they ever human at all? I lived, and when I came out the other side, I wasn't alone. I was held by people who love me with no agenda. That's what healing looks like. That's what love actually is. That was when I realized who you really were. That was the moment. You knew my fucking story. You knew I'd already been through hell. You watched your own mother go through it. You saw what it did to your own family. You felt what the world means, the fear, the fight, the way it rips everything apart. And you said anyway. And you said it anyway. So what the fuck was your excuse? No questions, no compassion, just a joke. Because anyone who can witness your pain and feel absolutely nothing was never someone with a soul to begin with. Even after I cut the cord, I couldn't breathe because you weren't just a person I left behind. You were a name the internet wouldn't let me forget. You were still everyone's favorite post, and no one knew what it cost me. Your fans kept showing up in my DMs, acting like they had insight, but they didn't know a damn thing. Of course, there was an N. She found me through, of course, there was N. She found me through your Xbox friend list, checked my profile, saw my IG in the bio, followed me. I didn't know that yet. Just another gamer sliding in. Nothing strange at first, then one day she posted you on her IG stories, and something in me paused. Part 3 comes next. I want to know the next. Right now, it feels like I'm reading into some drama. Like, I don't know how to describe it. Because now it feels like, I'm obviously the cancer is an insane thing. I feel for her. I hope that she makes it through that. It's a horrible thing to happen to anyone, and I'm really wishing the best. But it sounds as if you are more so angry about the situation, and I'll see what happens in part 3. But it seems you're more so angry about all these situations and his less than empathetic thing, and so you're trying to get something going, and you're trying to do that because I feel as if, I don't know, man. It feels like this is more view bait. It feels like it's more for people to see it, which I understand. Maybe you just want to spread that to people, but he's just a bad person then. He's just like an odd fella who really, I don't know about the sex part because, like I said, it's a he said, she said situation now. I will say he is a non-empathetic dickhead for what he said about the cancer thing. But like a 3-part expose, we'll see further on to that. Let's see on the next part. I had to talk to a friend who was ironically talking about the same situation. I'll say right now how I'm feeling is more Coryxkenshin is moving like a bad person. I mean, he's moving like a bad person. He's acting a bit insane. He's doing bad things, and especially this falls on his image. If I need to speak anything more about his image, it's more so. Okay, wait. If I need to talk any further on his image, it's more so Coryxkenshin is moving like a horrible person here. He is obviously using her for sex. If not, I'm not going to say that as obvious because it's so sort of iffy, but I will say that he's really fucked up for the cancer part, where she tells him about the cancer and then he goes, lol, what a passive aggressive this. That's really fucked up. I can't say any more except that's fucked up, and I don't know how you can even idolize someone who acts like that. I will go further into saying that I also believe that she is moving a bit like this is for views, a bit like, I know she's saying it's not for views and everything, but 50 tags, content warnings like this looks like tags I'd put under a YouTube video. It's, yeah, I'm not going to say too much into it. I feel like it is for views too. Not saying anything too hard on her, but this video right here says a lot to me.
Bacon avocado. I dated Coryxkenshin.
This right here.
And he hurt me.
This right here is like you're using a trend to do that. I'm also not gonna say that she has like repo clips and all this going on, and like gaming clips and something of an aspect to attempt to blow up. I mean, shit, I even do this, you know what I mean? So I'll say that this sounds a little bit like it's for views. Whatever. Okay. They were watching me too. So I asked, you're a fan of Cory. This is about the girl N who messaged her from the before shit. You know what I mean? So I asked, are you a fan of Cory? She said, yeah. I said, I'm not. She followed up with, why? It came off like a curious question. Like maybe she knew more than she was letting on, but I wasn't about to assume. So I kept it short. We dated. It didn't work out. I didn't realize how she even found me until later. After that post in our conversation, something felt off. Is this about previous stuff? And I did some digging and saw she was following you on Xbox. That's when it clicked. She must have found me through Xbox. I didn't know how many others she did that with. At the time, she hadn't done anything weird. She seemed nice, just another follower showing support. We had light conversations, nothing alarming. She liked some posts, messaged here and there. And when you're a creator, that kind of thing happens all the time. So I didn't overthink it. But the vibe was off. Like she was watching more than connecting. I didn't have proof, just a gut feeling. I should have listened to it. Then the anonymous IG account showed up. They started calling her out directly. At first, if the way it sounded, they worded it, made it sound like I was a part of the problem too. That wasn't the case. I messaged them directly to clear it up. They listened, they removed the part about me. That's when they clarified they weren't trying to comfort me. They were trying to warn me, and they were calling N out. I didn't have my full story, but they knew enough to see that you weren't good to me. And somehow N knew too before she even interacted with me. That's when things started to click. That this wasn't behavior. N had done this before. Turns out she had a reputation in her space, though I didn't know that then. I was still assuming someone, especially you, might step in and shut down the chaos. That account eventually explained their full intent. They wanted the truth out about you mostly, but also about N, for the cruel, manipulative shit she was doing in your community, inserting herself into the lives of the women you were connected to, diggling, meddling, then twisting things, and messaged you directly trying to paint her own version of the story, when where I was the problem and you were aware of what was happening, but you never asked me what was going on, never checked in, never even questioned why your name was suddenly tangled in a quiet drama. You just watched it unfold like it had nothing to do with you, and not long after that, one of your close friends, Brandon, someone who had never acknowledged me, suddenly started watching my IG stories like clockwork. Like he was assigned, like you were waiting to see if I'd finally speak. Okay. I'll say so far that the N person is weird, whatever the situation is. Obviously, remember, I'm just going off of her word from her messages here. Brandon viewing her stuff so far, it doesn't seem weird. It's just someone viewing your stories. I don't know. This couldn't even be someone real. It could just be a random guy. You know what I mean? I don't even know. No apology, no courage, just surveillance. Although I hate drama, this is never something I wanted to be part of, especially when I was minding my own damn business. I started to feel like a sign, a push I didn't ask for, but maybe needed. And looking back, I'm grateful because of that. I met the other women you hurt one by one. I got introduced to more of them, women with stories, women with messages they never sent, women who saw the same patterns. The same affection when it benefited you, the same withdrawal when emotions got real. Blame always shifted onto the other person. For the first time in a long time, the weight I'd been dragging alone didn't feel so heavy anymore. We weren't alone. We weren't broken, just convinced we were. They stayed quiet just like I did because they didn't think their voice would matter. Because it's easier to carry the pain than to explain it. But pain doesn't need permission to be real. Maybe I was meant to be the one to speak until they're ready to. They are not alone because everyone deserves that moment, the one where it's safe to exhale, to be seen, to be heard, to remember how they feel. This is my story to tell and theirs to protect until they're ready. Oh, long one. Why speak now as if timing ever made truth more comfortable? Because I was tired of living like your name held more weight than my voice. Tired of wondering if speaking would get me hurt or destroyed. Afraid that the second I said your name, people would stop seeing me and start labeling. That the world would care more about protecting your reputation than hearing what you did. While everything I am, everything I built, risks being overshadowed by you. Some people told me to stay quiet, thinking it would protect me, but that kind of protection still hurt because it made me feel like the world wasn't ready to hear truth. But maybe it still isn't. Maybe they'll still side with you, but I'd rather be hated for telling the truth than stay silent to protect your comfort or their denial. Rather counterintuitive considering you stated that you didn't want to do it in case you got hated and destroyed. That was never about revenge. This is about accountability. Though you wore kindness in public and cruelty in private, and silence helped you get away with both. I'm done swallowing my story and you can keep your fake reputation intact. Why didn't I leave? Because fuck, I was human. Because I wanted to believe he wasn't as cold as he acted. Because part of me thought love meant fighting through the worst. People love to ask, why don't you just leave? Like they've never clung to the wrong person out of hope. Like they've never swallowed their own voice just to keep the peace. Like they never ask, why did he make it so hard? Why did he keep coming back? Just enough to confuse me. Why did he never let me go? Because he never fully chose me. I didn't stay because I was weak. I stayed because I wanted to believe it would get better. Because I forgot what I was worth. Because I didn't know how much damage had been done. Because when you're constantly made to feel like you're the issue, you start believing pain is what you deserve. I'm not that girl anymore. Even soft girls snap when they've had enough, and I fucking had enough. And behind all of that, life was fucking heavy. I was dragging pain nobody could see, trying to survive shit I couldn't even name. Let's get one thing straight. I didn't write this for you to believe me. I'm not here to ruin him. I'm not asking you to pick a side. Okay. I'm asking you to sit with the truth even if it makes you sick. Oh, damn it. He hurt people, manipulated, discarded, walked away clean every time. I'm not the first, I won't be the last unless someone finally says anything. I didn't speak up for years, not because I had nothing to say, but because I knew how the world treats women who speak against men with status. I knew I'd be labeled bitter, jealous, unstable. I knew his fans would tear me down because before they ever tried to understand me, because I knew people would stop seeing me and only see who I was connected to. Oh God. You don't know me, but you don't know him either. You know the version he shows you, the one you want to believe. You weren't there, I was. So I want to excuse him. Go ahead. But own what you're defending, because now you're part of it. You're now defending a good man. You're defending a mask. You can side with him. Just don't act surprised when more stories surface. You've been warned. He didn't just hurt me. He hurt many. Your loyalty to him doesn't make you brave. It makes you blind, like some mice. To the girls still watching him with hearts in your eyes, thinking you'd be the exception because you're different, prettier, more understanding, more his type, you won't be. He doesn't need a better woman. He needs to become a better man. That's a tough line. And he won't. You could be stunning, soft, loyal, everything he claims he wants, and still it won't stop what's coming. Because he just doesn't hurt people. He mentally chips away at them. He makes... Okay. I'm going to skim real quick. You don't have to wait for proof. It's hard to read. Okay, it seems like she's just more wallowing here. I know not everyone would be ready to hear this. Some will deny it, some will. No extra words, no promise, no apologies. All right. I have come to a conclusion. This is basing only off what she said. Obviously, if Cory comes out, then you can make the true deduct. You can take her part, take his part, put them together, and then you can really figure out what sounds real, what sounds not. Now, I will say from what she said, main points I want to comment on. One, is he a bad person? If, in fact, he said he was using her just for sex, that would obviously lean towards a bad person. But it's a he said, she said. He said specifically, no, I loved you. And then she really said nothing to counteract it, except she just didn't believe him. Whatever that means. Secondly, Cory also, the thing about the cancer thing, that was obviously wrong on his part. Then again, you can't even see who really sent the message, except you can see the word. So I don't really know if he actually said that. This isn't in a defending sense, but if he did say that, again, I'm moving with a lot of ifs. If he did say that, that's really fucked up. That's bad. Then let's move further on into her whole shebang, right? You said that you're not looking for views, you're not looking for this, but you did post a 3-part series on it, posted a TikTok to a current trend about it, and as I can see, I'm not really going to dive too deeper, but you did post 2 more videos on it. I guess a photo of just, I don't know if this is to prove your relationship together. Or whatever. Fuck timing. You know what I mean? Whatever that is. Oh, by the way, Survivor, very good for you. Happy to see that. But I will say that seemed a bit off. That does seem a bit off, and you have to admit that. He was weird. Obviously, you've gone through a lot, and it seemed like the third part is part 3 just kind of sounded like bullshit to me. I'm not gonna lie, whoever N is, maybe they're weird, this, that, but then just his friend viewing one of your stories, you showed one screenshot. If you guys saw my Joe Gatto video, there's not that much evidence. There's not that much anything. It's the same here. There's not much evidence to anything. I'd have to take her word, because 90% of it is literally just fucking text of this. You know what I mean? There's 90% of it where I just have to believe her word, and then there's a little bit of, like, images like that. But yeah, to the conclusion... Cory's a bit odd, but I wouldn't say, I'd take back the fact of calling him a monster, this, that. It's a bit off, but what a weird situation this is. What a very, very weird situation this is. I'd like to see more if Cory would respond on it. I will say this is definitely against his image, considering the whole premarital sex, this, that, all his stuff that he stands for. But yeah, I mean, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Really deep dived, and even if you don't care for my opinion about it, at least I got to help you see everything about the image. At least I got to, if you wanted to read through all that. I mean, this is her account if you want to read any further. I followed her just so I could see it later, by the way. I'm not just actually following her. I mean, actually, I only follow people who, you know, actually, but yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this shit. Love you guys, and, oh yeah, like, subscribe up there. It helps me out a lot. I really appreciate it. Love you guys, and peace.